JASPERS will have the best knowledge to advise you how actually, what kind of analysis, how far to go in analysis of economic benefits. So in order that you get the product that you want, you get information, management information that you want. At the same time, we are still within the time limit that we have in the cohesion policy, which means we still have to implement projects in less than 10 years' time. And managing authorities need to build up, for that reason, need to build up internal capacities of the cost-benefit analysis in order to be meaningful partners also for consultants, so that consultants don't control managing authority. They provide information, but they don't control them. So that's also important that you have built your own capacity. But as I say, JASPERS is there to assist you in very particular issues. And in some sectors, we have to be careful to avoid delaying some decent projects because of methodological difficulties. That only applies to the new sectors that we try to cover with the CBA guide, mostly research and development and broadband projects, where the method of quantification and monetization of benefits is still yet to be developed. So there, for instance, in the research infrastructure, how to attach manual value to number of patents that will be possibly created by the project that we're supporting in the next 15, 20 years. So these elements are, of course, important from the management point of view, but there's always a kind of point that you have to stop with perfection and go for a management decision. And in some cases, to underline that, we foresee in the implementing act simplified economic analysis based on cost effectiveness and based on presentation of qualitative benefits from the cost benefit analysis if certain conditions are complied with. And these conditions are specified in our implementing act. What is the objective of the implementing? For the first time, it's not only guidance, but we decided, the legislator decided to put certain basic rules on cost-benefit analysis into the secondary legislation, which so they will become binding for all major projects to be implemented. And in terms of risk assessment, there's also a certain simplification which was proposed, also based on the member states' requirements. We have the same sensitivity analysis, so we check the sensitivity of main economic and financial parameters. But on top of that, we focus more on qualitative risk assessment, including measures for risk mitigation and risk matrix, where the managing authority will try to assess what are the risks for the project and how to address them. And the probabilistic risk analysis using macroeconomic methods will be only a requirement if there's residual risk exposure, if it's still significant. And for this, we also encourage you to develop your national guidelines to guide your beneficiaries in preparing and how to address the risk. But this should be real risks, and the responsive from management authorities should also be as close to the current practice as possible. And we also proposed minimum risks to be taken into account in the Act, so you will see for specific projects we ask you to analyze these projects from the point of view of these various risks. So for broadband, you have context regulatory risks, demand risk, design risk, and other risks that you are supposed to analyze in a qualitative term, so through the qualitative methods.